Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion, place of finding classic AFTERBIRTH. Plus, we are just unbelievably tickled pink, crushing it. Stats are a little wonky this time, but our items are good. PSPB47TZ. Straw is really that's the moneymaker right now. It's like a heavily diluted version of Necronomicon, and I am living for it. All we need, honestly, it's very needy to ask for this early, but the squeaky wheel gets the freaking grease. You know what I mean? It's a common expression. You should know what I mean. No excitement on this room, please. No excitement. Save the excitement for next room, please. Straw? Thank you. We need a bomb, and then we need this tinted rock to be small rock, and then we're off to the races. That's, it's not the opposite of small rock. It exists on some different axis, I suppose, but either way. Just, oh, they're excited. That's what I love about the I'm excited pill. They get faster and I stay the same speed. Doesn't really make any sense. Don't blame me. First off, that's a Matthew McConaughey quote. Secondly, Matthew McConaughey didn't even write it. He just said it. Richard Linklater wrote it. Thirdly, the character he plays in the movie Dazed and Confused is not meant to be sympathetic. He's meant to be kind of a jerk. Anytime you quote a jerky character, you can. You just gotta remember to keep it in mind that the character's a jerk. Like, you know, when you quote Jordan Belfort from The Wolf of Wall Street, you gotta recognize that, you know, Jordan Belfort's kind of a piece of garbage in that movie, but, and perhaps in real life, at least at the time that he was doing the actions that the movie has made infamous. Anyway, what am I talking about? I go off on the Jordan Belfort thing quite a lot. Can't remember. This is now trying to remember. I think I met a streamer once. Not maybe a YouTuber. I think it was back in the when I was traveling a lot for YouTube videos, and one guy told me like he wanted to become a YouTuber because he saw The Wolf of Wall Street and wanted to live that life, and I was like, man. We are not gonna get along. But now, like, I have to search my own brain and be like, was that a false memory? I honestly don't know. I have a memory of it happening, but I'm like, did I implant that memory in myself? As long as you acknowledge that it might be a false memory. I'm not trying to play it up for laughs. Anyway, well, for laughs, yes, but I'm not calling anybody out. Anyway, his name was Michael L. Fox, and that was the day we became fast friends. I have no bombs. Should not have used. Well, actually, we used our bomb on a productive purpose. Don't get it twisted here. Everything about this run is fine right now. I just long for a stat upgrade. This is like one of the few times in very recent memory, at least, that we don't actually require HP. If anything, HP would be very secondary to picking up some kind of DPS improvement. I'd really rather shoot these flies and then go in with a straw charge. Yo, thank you. Okay, pills, also scary but potentially valuable. Little horn. I'm not going to use a one makes you larger on you. Just to poison him, I don't think it's worth it. This guy, the book is out on how you fight this guy. You let him blow himself up with his own bombs. All you have to do is survive until he locomotes into them himself. Might not happen on every pass, that's okay. That's what the straw's here for. The straws at night are big and bright, deep in the straws of Isaac. You guys, it's one of my favorite Texas songs. Trying to think if I know any other songs about Texas. There's that one by David Berman. How'd you turn a billion steers into buildings made of mirrors? That's a good one. F in chat, please. Portland, Oregon by Jack White, featuring Loretta Lynn, or vice versa, I should say. That's a good song about Texas. You see where we're going here. New York, New York by Frank Sinatra. One of the all-time classic jams about Texas. Of course, you remember the Hyrule theme. Okay, yeah, you get it. You understand the point that we're making here. And by we, I mean, it's literally just me, but that's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we've sort of got him. I am hoping to get some use out of Acid Baby. The thing is, I don't really exclusively want to take One Makes You Larger pills. It will cause us some issues. In fact, I would not mind not taking another one. I've made a mistake. That's fine. Thank God we had some Spirit Hearts. I would not mind not taking another One Makes You Larger pill for the duration of this run. In fact, I wouldn't mind taking a One Makes You Smaller pill. How about that? Cash me outside, how about that? How's Bad Bobby doing? Is she still doing okay? I know it's a weird, like, 6 degrees of separation thing. You know, like, I think I basically, by knowing Dracula Fetus, friend of the channel, does art and animations for the channel as well, I believe that I actually have lowered my degree of separation to every celebrity on planet Earth by 1 degree. And I'm being sincere. Here's how it goes, okay? Me, I know Dracula Fetus. Dracula Fetus animated a music video for Bad Baby, aka, this is true by the way, the Cash Me Outside, How About That girl, who then went on and is perhaps still pursuing a recording career. I'm not besmirching that name at all. I don't want to get into beef. Cash Me Outside, How About That girl was on Dr. Phil. Surely, via Dr. Phil, I'm no more than 2 degrees away from any other celebrity on planet Earth. Dr. Phil has... I mean, Dr. Phil, minimum, if he hasn't met a celebrity, has met Oprah who's met them. There you go. That connects me to just about every celebrity in North American media. So thank you, Dracula Fetus. That sounded sarcastic. I mean it sincerely. It's made me an extremely good player of 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. People don't want to play with me anymore because I'm too good. So we're going to be a little spiced here. We're going to take... we took that just for the purposes of getting Empty Vessel to work for us. Honestly, though I do not love our stats, we will be leaving. I think we got a lot of positive stuff going on this run, in spite of it not maybe looking that incredible. I think you can see that there's a lot to like already, even if we're not quite there yet. That's another really good option for us, but now we gotta be a little cautious about our HP. But if we could just get our HP sorted, everything is coming up roses. Like, we got... Empty Vessel is legitimately like one of the most underrated items in the game. I don't know if it's underrated because I don't really care how people rate items in Isaac in the modern day. But I think it's probably underrated because it's not like a direct damage enabler or anything like that, but still. It gives you a ton of utility. We will sack town a little bit here. You gotta do what you gotta do. A health upgrade is good, but we don't want to fill this health upgrade because we'll lose Empty Vessel. And honestly, the ability to fly is, you know, if not useful for our immediate survival, very nice for morale purposes. The ideal way to use this would be to get half a heart on the boss somehow, and then immediately trade in for a deal with the devil that we were previously unable to afford. I don't know. The value of that is doubtlessly on the lower side. But still, Yeah, everything's kind of coming together here. You know, we get decent seeds. You know, those decent seeds lead to, thank you, lead to decent play. That decent play leads to stronger confidence. Stronger confidence helps lead to better results, and it's all feeding into itself to create not a special streak yet, but this is like, it's like a pretty decent streak. Still, I wouldn't even call it a special streak until we get up minimum over 25. And that's just, you know, that's the absolute bare minimum special streak enabler. The thing is, it's hard to go faster. We can't really put a rush job in on this one, you know? You just kind of gotta accept it is what it is. It's kind of an interesting run to begin with. We got like good AoE, you know, between pills plus acid baby plus I will take it. Plus straw. Like, we got a really wide damage. Certainly do not need range. I'm just like, how does this work? It did take an empty red heart container. I didn't know if it would work like that. But that's like, that's excellent. That's fantastic. Okay, I will also take infamy. Dude, this we're set. Again. We're set again. And I am honestly going through a little bit of just a little late period Isaac Renaissance here, if you will. What's the pill? Gulp. This is a fun run on top of being you know, a powerful and a pretty interesting run. Plus, after this, it's the first game of the Canucks season. It's actually something I should probably check the score because it started 5 minutes ago. It might already be like 6-0 Edmonton, in which case I could immediately switch into cynical mode. Look, it's an 82 game season. Doesn't matter. Couple of games go wrong, nothing to worry about. Many games go wrong. Oh, that's something to worry. Well, I mean, not really worry about. I mean, it's sports, you know. I am stunned, and I shouldn't be. But I'm stunned by how many Twitter accounts exist basically dedicated to just a single sports team. And I say that as somebody who has parody accounts of me existing on that cursed website. But like, it always blows my mind. Like, there's reporters who, you know, they work with the league, television stations, radio stations, etc., etc. They talk to the players. They have insight. Sometimes they say dumb things. We actually don't want the Eternal Heart there. Sometimes they say things that are not dumb that I don't agree with, so I call them dumb, which is probably a bad habit to begin with, but I'll own that. That's fine. But then there's also people who are just like, hey, my name's Tim. I really like the Canucks. And I exclusively every day tweet negative things about the team. I'm like, really? And then I see that, you know, some of them have like a few thousand followers. That's not really, in the modern day, that's not enough to really kickstart your influencer career, I think. But I am just surprised nonetheless. I'm like, a few thousand people follow you? And you're like, hey, I've never spoken to anybody involved with the franchise, but my feeling is that they're going to make Louis Eriksson the captain and tick everybody off. A source at my cousin's bat mitzvah said, you know, you get the idea. Yeah, let's grab it. And then immediately besmirch it. Yeah, just gulp immediately for no reason. That's a pretty good one. Anyway, that's sports. I'm always... Sports media is very funny. Did you know hockey players get media training? I work in media. I've never had media training in my entire life. Let me just get Bookworm, and then we'll go back with the straw. Just to make it more fun. Excuse me, let me get Bookworm. Did we already had Bookworm, I guess. I will, and this is true for just about any sport on planet Earth, but I can do an impression basically 1-to-1 of whatever any hockey interview is like. There's only like 3 different kinds of hockey interviews. One is like, hey, you scored a goal in that period. What are you... Hey, tell me what went through your mind when you saw that puck ripple the twine at the back of the net. Yeah, you know, I just figured, you know, I saw a good opening, and of course we watched the game film on the goalie. Coach told me don't be afraid to shoot low stick side, so just let her rip, and hey, sometimes you get lucky, so it feels good. Now, you guys are up 2-1 heading into the period. What's your plan for the third period to keep the Oilers at bay? Yeah, you know, we're just going to keep playing our game. You know, we got a system we like. We get pucks in deep, battle on the boards. And, you know, as long as we play our game, a couple of bounces go our way, I've got a feeling things are going to work out in our favor. All right, thank you, Connor, for your interview. Good luck in the third period. Thank you. That's the other one is if you're losing. Things didn't go your way tonight. Outshot 35-5. What do you have to say? Yeah, I feel like, you know, we played pretty well. Couple of defensive lapses that we'd like to improve upon, but for the most part, we played our game, and hey, sometimes things don't go your way. I long for the day. This is why one of the reasons Vancouver fans are so excited to have Elias Pettersson on our team. He's like 20 years old now, so he's on the very young side, obviously. But I don't know, by NHL standards, he's in his second year now. And like, whenever reporters ask him a question that's dumb, he hits them with like a death glare. And then one time people asked him, you know, why do you keep hitting the reporters with a death glare? And he said, if you ask me a stupid question, you get a stupid look. And I was like, yo, this guy. I would follow this man to the ends of the earth. It's an extremely good answer. I don't know. I want more real answers from hockey players. I don't know if I would do it because, you know, you run the risk of maybe not jeopardizing your career, but, you know, you got a good thing going. Why rock the boat, right? But I would like to think, you know, sometimes you lose like 3-2 in Game 7 of your playoff series, and they're like, tell me what went wrong. And you're like, hey, Scott Oak, you saw the whole game. What do you think went wrong? We tried our hardest. The other guys also tried their hardest. Yeah, ever since the introduction of the salary cap, like, all the teams are plus or minus like 25% skill level from one another. Like, it's hard, dude. Oh, what went through your mind when you saw the second overtime start? Well, I was freaking tired, dude. I didn't, you know, if you want to be realistic, at some point you're probably like, man, I wanted to win, but I also just kind of wanted to go home. You know I get paid the same no matter what, right? That wouldn't go over well in sports media. But it's got to be the honest to goodness truth sometimes. You don't get paid extra for the playoffs, I think. Probably should double check that one. I'm not saying you would deliberately throw, but you know, you might be like, well, looks like this guy wants to work an extra month for free. All right, try hard. I'm going fishing. I mean, we'll take it. I'm not upset to be taking it, but gulp yet again. Hierophant's fine.
The Hierophant.
Sorry, the Hierophant. I didn't realize we had a pronunciation expert in the call right now. Anyway, it's sports. It's only entertainment, you know? It just got me thinking. There was this really viral clip that went around. Like how viral sounds good, or sounds bad, but is actually, you know, great. And it was an interview with a wrestler. And he's an older wrestler. I apologize, I don't know his name, but it was a really, really good interview where he touched on the subject of toxic fandom. It was like the internet has created these I'm paraphrasing, by the way. If you see the video, you should watch it. It's really good. It's like the internet has created these situations where there's, you know, fans out there who are very passionate, and now they make the mistake of thinking that they have knowledge about the industry just because of the fact that they can read so much online, when in reality, you know, they've never been behind the scenes and they have no idea how it actually works, but they appear to be knowledgeable, so they become like relevant sources to other people, and it's just like the blind leading the blind. And I was like, dude, I saw some of these Twitter accounts for so-called Canucks, or, you know, Leafs are actually, they get it way worse, but Canucks Twitter, and I was like, oh, that's a great example. Guy, you know, he works at like an accountant's office in Port Coquitlam, and he's like, well, actually, you might think I'm a bookkeeper, but in reality, I'm a semi-famous Twitter celebrity, mostly famous for displaying my ignorance about a business I've never had any part in. I recognize this, by the way, as somebody whose whole career is basically that. That's why I try to... I'm not even being insincere now. That's why I try to defer whenever very serious game industry issues or, like, you know, development issues are talked about. People are like, the developers are so freaking stupid. Why would they ever do it like this? And I'm... It's a bit of a yikesable moment, brother. Why don't they just program the game without bugs? I don't understand. In my introduction to Java class, if you had a bug like this in your project, you would fail the class. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. Doesn't win you any fans, though. Actually, it wins you fans when you say things like that. It just wins you fans slower, which is fine, you know. I prefer it that way. I mean, I would prefer if it was the right kind of fan, but faster. But I'm content with the current situation and unwilling to compromise to make that happen. That's a more honest answer there. Dude, I'm just gonna tell you, I'm enjoying this matriarch fight. Even though we got hit, anytime you have a chance to make the matriarch pay for the myriad runs that the matriarch has forced you to lose, I'm a happy man. Still, to be honest, undecided about what item to take there. We will take, you know, my thinking is just take Squeezy, just because it's simple. The Bone Hearts, I deliberately didn't go after Fate because I already had Empty Vessel and didn't want to screw up the invincibility that comes with Fate. So I don't want to potentially screw up Empty Vessel by grabbing a Bone Heart either. I don't think it would screw it up, but I don't want to take the chance. I mean, nothing could screw this run up beyond repair at this point. This run is like, is the golden child. What's the most embarrassing movie you've ever seen in theaters? I'm gonna say, like, you can include movies that you forced your parents to drag you to when you were a child. I've got a few that are right on the top of the dome piece, okay? I forced my grandma to drag me... Wait, how does this work? I forced my grandma to take me to see the first Pokemon movie in theaters when I was like 10. It's not that embarrassing, I guess, but it's like, you know, it's up there. I willingly saw the Incredible Hulk movie before the Marvel Universe was actually any good. And I dragged some people to see that with me as well. That's not that bad, but... You know, we're starting to get spiced. On a date in high school, I was dragged to see the awful horror movie When a Stranger Calls. Might not seem like it counts, but I paid, so I feel like it counts because I put money in the filmmakers' pockets. On a 9th grade birthday party, I saw the movie Darkness Falls, the one where the Tooth Fairy is evil. That's probably legitimately the worst movie I've ever seen in theaters. Well, I don't know, because I've told this before. The only movie I've ever walked out of was Transformers 2. And actually, Terminator Salvation. But, like, Terminator Salvation, I was just like, like, it's just not as good as I thought it would be. Transformers 2, I was like, this is insulting to me. I saw Transformers 1 in theaters with 2 of my friends. Malf was there. I think they liked it a little, and I was like, I don't really like it that much, but it was fine. Saw Transformers 2 in theaters. I was like, this is terrible. Actually, not even, that was not a snob walkout where I was like, this is unacceptable. That was like a human walkout where I was like, I have more respect for myself than to sit here and be insulted for the next 2 hours. So I would say Transformers, I can't remember which one that is. Revenge of the Fallen, Dark Side of the Moon. Either way. Actually, you know what? Now that I realize it, there's a lot of kind of spotty movies I saw. There was a period where I was watching a lot of garbage. On purpose, I might add, but sure, why not? Me and my friend saw The Mummy 3, The Curse of the Dragon's Tomb, in theaters the day it came out. I want to be clear, I did not expect the movie to be any good at all. I, in fact, expected it to be so bad that it would be enjoyable. And I don't think that really came to pass either. It was bad, but more so in the just kind of its boring way. Now that I think about it, I've seen a lot of embarrassing movies in theater. Not for a while. I mean, like, I saw Detective Pikachu. That's not embarrassing. That movie was fine. It's not great. And simultaneously is the best video game movie ever made. But I don't think I've seen anything in the last, like, you know, several years that I mean, I don't consider myself embarrassed to have seen Prometheus in theaters. If I had seen Alien Covenant in theaters, I might have felt a little differently about that. I'm interested to hear what other people have. You know, somebody's going to see these trash movies in theaters. Even when a movie is like, hey, it bombed at the box office, only made $3.5 million opening weekend, somebody was part of that $3.5 million, okay? Was it you? I want to know. For now, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I will see you next time. See ya!